Forgotten muscle legends. 3 cars that deserve a comeback. One, 1971 AMC Javelin AMX. The 1971 AMC Javelin AMX is a muscle car that often gets overshadowed by its more famous rivals. Its bold and aggressive styling gave it a unique presence on the streets. The long hood and sleek profile made it stand out from the competition. The front grille was wide and intimidating, giving it a menacing look. Under the hood, buyers could get a 401 cubic inch V8 engine. This powerhouse delivered up to 330 horsepower. That meant strong acceleration and exciting performance. The car was also closely tied to AMC's involvement in Trans Am racing. In fact, the Javelin AMX earned victories in the series, proving its capability. Inside, the cabin was designed with a sporty feel. Deep bucket seats hugged the driver during spirited driving. The dashboard was angled toward the driver, emphasizing control. Compared to Mustangs or Camaros, the Javelin was less expensive, but it was no less exciting to drive. Many owners loved it for its individuality and rebellious character. AMC marketed it as a bold alternative to the big 3 muscle cars. Even stock versions had an aggressive stance that caught attention. Racing versions showed that AMC could compete with the best. The Javelin became a symbol of independence and originality in the early 70s. Today, it's a rare sight on the streets or at car shows. Collectors value it for its scarcity and racing heritage. Its design still feels futuristic and daring even decades later. The roar of its V8 remains music to any car enthusiast's ears. Unlike mainstream choices, this was a muscle car for true individualists. Owning one now is like owning a piece of hidden American history. It's the kind of car that always sparks conversation. People admire it because it represents bold experimentation in design. The Javelin AMX also reminds us that AMC dared to be different. Its styling is muscular yet elegant, blending strength with flair. The car had the performance to back up its aggressive look. Sadly, AMC's limited resources kept it from becoming a superstar, but that just makes surviving examples more special today. Many believe it deserves far more recognition than it received. It's a forgotten legend of the muscle car era, and it absolutely deserves a comeback in modern times. 2. 1969 Dodge Charger 500. The 1969 Dodge Charger 500 was born out of racing necessity. Dodge built it specifically to compete in NASCAR. The standard Charger had aerodynamic issues at high speeds. Engineers fixed this by redesigning the nose and flush rear window. The Charger 500 was essentially a street version of Dodge's race car. It came with 2 legendary V8 engine options. Buyers could choose the 426 Hemi or the 440 Magnum. Both engines provided raw, brutal performance. The 426 HEMI, in particular, was rated at 425 horsepower. On the track, the Charger 500 was capable of incredible speeds. It paved the way for the even wilder Charger Daytona. But on the street, the Charger 500 was a rare and intimidating sight. Only around 500 examples were built to meet racing homologation rules. That makes it one of the rarest muscle cars of its era. Its design was a fascinating mix of form and function. The flush grille improved airflow and reduced drag. The rear window change eliminated turbulence that slowed the regular Charger. This made the car far more stable at high speeds. Inside, it offered the same comfort and space as the regular Charger. But the real magic was under the hood. With the Hemi, It could run the quarter mile in the low 13-second range. That was blistering performance for the late 60s. It was also a serious threat on the NASCAR circuit. In many ways, it was Dodge's secret weapon. Yet despite its brilliance, the Charger 500 never achieved the fame of the Daytona. The Daytona's wild wing and nose cone stole the spotlight. Still, the Charger 500 laid the groundwork for those innovations. Without it, the aero wars of NASCAR might have looked very different. Today, the Charger 500 is extremely valuable to collectors. Its rarity makes it highly sought after. Every surviving example tells a story of Dodge's racing ambition. It represents the moment when muscle cars went from street machines to aerodynamic warriors. Its performance was as brutal as its appearance was purposeful. The Charger 500 is a muscle car that truly deserves more recognition. It stands as a forgotten legend of both the street and the track. 3. 1970. Buick GSX Stage 1. The 1970 Buick GSX Stage 1 was one of the most powerful muscle cars of its time. Buick wanted to shake off its image as a luxury-only brand, so they created a muscle car that shocked everyone with its performance. The GSX came standard with a massive 455 cubic inch V8. In Stage 1 trim, it produced a conservative rating of 360 horsepower. But in reality, the engine delivered far more power. Torque was a jaw-dropping 510 pound-feet. That made it one of the torquiest engines of the entire muscle car era. On the street, it was an absolute beast. The GSX could run the quarter mile in just over 13 seconds. That meant it was quicker than many Chevelles, Mustangs, and even some Corvettes. Buick marketed it as both powerful and sophisticated. The GSX wasn't just fast, it was also loaded with features. It had power steering, power brakes, and a refined interior. Buyers could get luxury comfort with drag strip speed. The exterior design was bold and attention-grabbing. The GSX was available in just two colors, Saturn Yellow and Apollo White. Both versions came with black striping and a rear spoiler. Its look screamed performance without being over the top. Despite all its strengths, the GSX remained relatively rare. Only a few hundred were built in 1970. That makes it one of the rarest muscle cars of the golden era. It was often overlooked because Buick wasn't known for racing, but those who knew the GSX Stage 1 respected it deeply. Even Car and Driver praised it as one of the best muscle cars of 1970. On the street, it had the power to humble almost any rival. The GSX Stage 1 proved that Buick could build a serious performance machine. It combined brute force with refinement in a way few others did. Today, surviving examples are highly prized among collectors. Their value continues to climb as people rediscover Buick's forgotten muscle car. It was a car that broke stereotypes and shocked the competition. The GSX Stage 1 deserves far more recognition than it gets. It represents Buick at its boldest and most daring. This was the car that proved muscle could also mean class. A true forgotten legend that deserves a glorious comeback.